Over the last year, I've been charity shopping and car boot hunting, and not everything was a win. There were scams, strange finds, and unexpected treasures. Today, I'm showing you all of it. First, I think we should start with the sort of media I was picking up from these places. Recently, there's been quite the resurgence in vinyls and records, and I do have a collection of those from when I was a teenager, but at the moment, what I'm finding most interesting are things that run on tape. This is Fight Club for VHS, which was like 25p. It's the only one I have. I think they missed out on not making this pink. I think if this was pink, it would have been a little bit sauce. But yeah, this is the kind of stuff, media-wise, I've been going for. If this is the first video you've seen of me, you might not know about this case, so allow me to introduce you. This cost me £5 and it was already pretty much full from a car boot sale. This thing is just full of cassettes. Now, what is the practicality of this? Not very much. I don't know if this is true or not, but my friend told me that cassettes are not practical. They're just used for, or they were used so people could listen to music in the car. They are apparently the lowest quality audio format, but I don't care. When I find a cassette player that will fit in my car, best believe I'm downgrading, and it's already a pretty bad CD player anyway, barely works. But yeah, the kind of things we got on here are all sorts. One of my favorites, Cat Stevens. This one is particularly interesting. A guy told me at a car boot sale they had this original Beatles cassette, and I wish I'd opened the box and looked at it. Anyone can tell that that's not a real Beatles cassette. It's written on there in a Sharpie and a felt tip pen. But it's so weird that they kept the original art and then I guess copied it and are selling the pirated version. Queen, Bon Jovi, Top Loader, loads of Simon and Garfunkel, Frank Sinatra one. The bulk of these came from this car boot sale, but there are a select few that I found in charity shops and from other sellers. And I was just walking around with this one day. When I bought this, it was like right at the start of the car boot sale. So I was walking around to other sellers. They'd be like, oh, how much are your cassettes? And they'd be like, oh, like 50p, pound, you can have them. I'd be like, yeah, sure. I'd put this on the floor, crack it open, and then add the new ones to the collection. And I think people were a bit shocked by that. And maybe like, they realized they probably could have asked me for a bit more. So that's that case. It's all good having these cassettes, but if you don't have something to play them on, what's the point of having them? Well, allow me to introduce you to my Sony Walkman. Again, it was from a car boot sale. It was from an actual reseller, so I was a bit more trusting than maybe someone who just had it in their attic for years. Oh, let's cassette in here. Shaggy, boombastic. It works, it plays, it takes 2 AA batteries. It crackles when you adjust the volume, but other than that, it works fine. I think for a £5 or a £10, I can't really complain. I'm one step further away from not having to pay for any subscriptions. Just have to carry this around with me everywhere I go. One last thing on cassettes before we move on to my favorite form of media is just down here. This box that I also got from a car boot sale, shock. Apparently the seller owned this for its entire life, and then I was the second owner. Whether or not that's true is a different question. You know, what can you say? What can you do? It is a vintage cassette player and recorder. I've tried once to record music to it. I tried to record Kanye's 808s and Heartbreaks from CD to this, I think. And no success. Whether the failure was because of this hardware or because of the blank cassettes I was using, I'm not sure, but I will have to give it a go, especially when I get this downgraded stereo system that only takes cassettes. This is going to be invaluable. I can have any songs I want without subscription. Oh, I actually have one last thing. I got this one from Facebook Marketplace. Cassettes again. Requires blank cassettes, but it's a very cool, sophisticated piece of kit. Now, if any of you like a good crime documentary, you will have probably seen one of these, or at least a modern version of these, especially if you're keeping up with modern Emmerdale. This inconspicuous, rigid, shiny, cold case, if I can open it, is a police cassette recorder. There's a microphone in the back, and it's a very particular microphone that can record an entire room, and this is it. This is what the microphone looks like. A piece of metal and a microphone, I believe, facing towards the metal. You lay this down flat on the table and it picks up all of the sounds that bounce off the metal, which if two people are sat either side of it talking, it's going to pick up pretty easy. That can then record it, I believe, to 2 cassettes. Then you have 2 copies, 2 physical copies of the interview. I think there is huge potential here for interviewing some pretty interesting characters and having physical interviews. I don't know, something about that has some charm. What is my favorite media? I'm sure you're patiently awaiting to find out. Well, the hint's been right here all along, and this is probably what I've spent the most money on over the year. All of this shelf here, because they're all classic old books, far beyond my time. I couldn't have gotten these brand new if I wanted to. I mean, I'll bring out a handful, but they're all the same. These classic, both of Homer's books, in pretty nice condition, if I do say so myself. I've been very lucky, and most of these were in the same charity shop. My favorite author of all time, Camus, just a phenomenal stack of Penguin classics. But there was one particularly interesting set of books I got my hands on from this section. 3 books that have this weird link are Dostoevsky, The Idiot, Back to Methuselah, a little red Penguin classic, and Franz Kafka's Metamorphosis, another one of my favourite books of all time. So, in the next town over, they were having a pop-up charity book sale for a rugby club. These 3 were in and amongst, you know, the cookbooks, the war books, history books, and these 3 stuck out to me at the time. And this was before I had this many books. This was still early in my collection. But interestingly, if you look inside, they're all signed by A.M. Stoneham. It has an address in the bottom corner, so I keep that covered. This one isn't signed, but it has a little sticker with the same address on it. And this one is signed on the front. You might have seen it earlier. Wikipedia article about A.M. Stoneham, or Arthur Marshall Stoneham, born 18th of May 1940 and lived until the 18th of February 2011, known as Marshall Stoneham, was a British physicist who worked for the UK Atomic Energy Authority. However, the address in these books is probably a 40-minute drive from where I live. Could it be the same person? I believe so. What does that mean exactly? I'm not sure, but it's a very weird coincidence that I picked up 3 books and have, I assume, a very similar taste in books to Mr. A.M. Stoneham. Yeah, there's something about the character and the story that the book itself carries without the words on the pages. It's just very interesting to me. And if you smell pre-owned books, like the old ones where the pages turn brown, there's just something about it. Apparently it's vanilla. I just think of like a Victorian museum. There is one old book that stands out. This one right here. Nondescript, marble-looking book with brown pages. Is an Elwell dictionary. What kind of dictionary? An English to German dictionary that came out. Let me just double check. Yeah, 1882. What am I going to do with this? Look after it? But this is the oldest book I own. It's like over 140 years old. and it's not in a museum, it's in my hands. This book has quite a lot of character. So to answer the question, would I rather be able to touch any instrument and play it immediately, or pick up any book and know its contents? The answer would be the instrument one, because this gives you more, this is far more interesting to deep dive into these kind of things than to just run through a bookshop and understand a load of books. You would never see the character, you would never understand the stories. A.M. Stoneham and me have something in common. Our taste for weird classic literature. You just don't get that very often with anything these days. Those are the most interesting of my books. Pre-owned ones anyway. Let's do cameras first, and then I'll discuss the few trinkets that I got. This is one of 2 camera bags I got this year. This one was from Facebook Marketplace. The other one is from a car boot sale. That's in my car. It's not very interesting. This one has a bit of story to it. Inside is all of the camera gear I got this year. If you like cameras, this section is going to be interesting. This camera I bought off a friend. It's one of those DJI gimbal cameras. This will be good for some upcoming videos where I'm going to be going to charity shops and car boot sales. Subscribe for those. They're coming very soon. The 35mm cameras I got this year are maybe second on the most interesting. This is an old Nikon. I remember seeing digital point and shoot Nikons everywhere when I was growing up, but this is a film one and it works. I got this from a charity shop. I always check the glass case in charity shops. That's where you find things like this, which are phenomenal. I haven't finished the roll of film in this one yet, but if you want a video where I go over the rolls of film from each camera and talk about which ones are the best, which one works, comment down below and I'll definitely do it. Where to next? This one was made by a chemist. I think they're a chemist. Boots. This one I have not figured out at all. Not really experimented with. I just thought it was interesting. Look at this. This here is the shutter. That's number 2. A very old, classic looking Kodak camera. Does it work? I'm not sure. Is it cool to look at? Absolutely. Another little Kodak. This one, particularly cool. And they don't make film for this one anymore, so you could get some interesting expired film shots. Look at this little Kodak. Where's the flash, I hear you ask? You just pull up, bang. That's how you turn it on as well. 20 shots still left in there. Does it work? I'm not sure. Do the photos look any good? I'm also not sure. Again, if you want to see the film and the results, comment and let me know. I believe there's 1 or 2 more. This one is one of the newer ones. This is a Sony Handycam. If you know anything about these, they are some of the first home video cameras, I believe. I think they started off on cassette. This one is special because this side here is a CD player. You have to put little DVDs in here and it records to the DVD. This is probably one of the founding fathers of where the vlogging cameras are today, because the camera flips around. The screen flips around so you can record yourself. That one was Facebook Marketplace. Facebook Marketplace, charity shop, car boot sale, charity shop. I want to say car boot sale. Potentially lastly, this Fujifilm FinePix camera, which I was most looking forward to using because it looks like they've got some sort of screen here. I can't get it to work. It slides across like this. I put 4 batteries in it, nothing. I'm not sure if you have to have the weird SD card in order for it to turn on, but that's quite the investment and the risk because those are quite rare. You don't want to spend £30–40 on a tiny floppy disk for it to show up and then the camera not even work. This one was also a charity shop, I believe. There was one last camera. It is a Pentax camera, not accessible to me right now. That kind of started a little obsession with camera lenses because it looked like wherever I went there was a Pentax lens. Was this overboard? Probably. But like people were giving these away for like £1 at car boot sales. So even if I don't use them and I want to get rid of them, you take these to like a camera museum where they buy cameras and camera gear, it's gonna be at least worth more than £1. You'd at least break even. and it would go somewhere where it would actually be appreciated, rather than just the back of some cupboard or drawer, or worse, a tip. So basically what I'm saying is, if you need someone to shoot film photos for your wedding, I might be your guy, but give me another month to get the film developed and make sure the camera is working. Yeah, before we move on, this one I didn't buy and was gifted to me, but it is particularly interesting. This is a small digital camera that I got for Christmas from my friend. Thank you again. This one works fine. I did have to buy some new batteries for it, but other than that, it works perfectly. It's a little Pentax point and shoot camera. Inside the little travel case, we have a stylus. You might be asking, what on earth do you need a stylus for? You can draw directly onto the photos you take. Let me try and get a photo and I'll show you exactly what I mean. I'll throw up the original photo, and with a little bit of doodling, what do I add? I'm gonna write car boots fear me or something. Oh, this second dollar sign I just did is cold. Yeah, I'll throw up what it looks like, and it feels, I want to say, smoother than a DS. There's a bit of lag on the screen, but the way the stylus tracks along, it's clean. Lots of potential for a lot of cool slideshows on Instagram and TikTok and whatever else you can post a slideshow to these days. All of the nearly all of the cameras I got this year, because I got gifted another one, a bright red film camera. Now the point some of you will have been waiting for, all of the knickknacks and trinkets and random miscellaneous bric-a-brac that I got. Inside these two little boxes are the same thing but slightly different, both from charity shops, both very interesting. But we'll wait just a little bit longer for those. This statue I got this thinking statue from a charity shop, £5 maybe, a bit dusty. What a hard ornament for essentially my quite bright version of a study. Maybe if these walls were like green, like a nice dark green, this would look like a proper study, but the thinker. This one I got from a charity shop as well. I think actually those might have came from the same charity shop on different days. A globe. It's a very old-fashioned globe. It's like hand-drawn, it looks like, potentially. Made in Italy. Unfortunately, it's too big to go on my shelf in here, I think. Too tall. Last two things, and then we'll get to the cases. This on my bookshelf, which I can't get out. It is stuck. This was one of my favourite games growing up. I played it with my brother not too long ago, and nothing like I remember. Super janky now. I used to think the AI was cheating, but it's probably just how the limitations of games back then. You may have never heard of this game. Fusion Frenzy 2. It's kind of like Mario Party, but for Xbox. That was £1. Actually no, it was £1, but the guy gave it to me for free. I think nobody else must have ever expressed interest in him, but this guy reckons he had copies of every single game he was selling, and he had hundreds of games out. And he was quite interesting to talk to. He has every console that's ever released, several games for all of them, and him and his son just gamers. That's the other benefit of going to car boot sales this year. You get to meet quite a lot of characters. I got quite a lot of gear, camera gear from one man. He was super passionate about it, really helped me out. He had some light diffusers, which I should have got off of him, but oh well. What we've all been waiting for. These two cases. 2 sets of, I believe, Chinese meditation balls. If you've never seen these before, you put them in your hand and you spin them like this. It's good for dexterity and relaxation. I can't really do it very well in my left hand. Like, how do I do it? So I need to practice a bit more. But this is kind of like the OG fidget spinner. Those ones are larger with yin and yang symbols. which is fire. And these ones have some sort of pattern on them, but they're smaller. One last trinket, and it is my favorite. If you recall back to the start of the video when I said I need the cassettes for when I downgrade my radio, well, there's a chance I won't need to swap the radio within my car, and I can just swap the vehicle itself. And what vehicle would I swap it to? The Volkswagen T2, T30 or T4. This is like the reminder to keep going that I keep on my shelf. This year I also did quite a bit of bird watching in the spring, and it's coming around to that time again, so I'm ready. This right here is one of 3 sets of binoculars I bought. Binoculars are not all that interesting, but this pair is. You know, I've got the big pairs for watching birds. This I got from a charity shop. These are opera binoculars. They're not all that pretty, but think back to the times when you would see depictions of people with those. They'd have a stick with binoculars that they would hold up like this. This is the Sydney Opera House modern equivalent. So that is everything I still have that I bought over the last year. If you want to see my adventures in car booting and charity shopping this year, please subscribe, leave a like, and thank you for watching.